Bismillah, welcome back, Zoo Crew. So, it's been a very weird kind of few weeks, and I am very grateful that this is the fourth last day before my 90-day journey is over, and I no longer have to force myself to post a video every day, you know? Especially because I've been having quite a mental overload all day and somewhat of a headache, you know? And I'm pretty sure it's a stress headache. But yeah, so I went to my parents' house today after Jummah prayers and had like a discussion with them about my plans, and so far they seem to have agreed. But my dad was very adamant about me like moving back home, and I think it's because in their head they both just assumed that they would just live with me forever, and then like when I get married they would live with me and my wife, like proper Pakistani style, you know. And like this is the thing, it's like really for my mental health, like it's not good for me to be living in the same house as them. And as much as they're like, yeah, like we'll give you your space, we'll respect your boundaries, it's like we've already tried this, and like it's nice in theory, but in practical real world, we both know like it's not gonna happen, you know? And I really cannot sustain being like the buffer between both of my parents and then just kind of absorbing all of their energy all the time, you know? And like this is like the crazy part in all this. When I was like spiraling after my breakup and just like not stable, they were pretty much leveraging that and like using that as a ploy to get me to move home, you know? And like in the moment, because I was like unregulated, I was like, yeah, okay, maybe this makes sense. Like maybe I'll just like move out of the Airbnb before the end of January, and like I'll just move back home, and like I don't need to like live on my own and stuff, you know? And then obviously like when I calmed down and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not a good idea. Just because like there's always so much going on in that house, and like it's like I'm always just overstimulated, and then like my body cannot rest while I'm living in that house. So, and like this is part of the reason why I age so much in such a short period of time, because I've been living in like flight or flight mode my whole life and like just on edge. Whereas like when I have my own place, at least like I have somewhere I can like go and decompress, you know, clear my head and just not be worried about people judging me or people invading my space, and really just being able to like be comfortable, you know? And I think that's a very important thing. And then like the whole topic of like money and stuff came up, and he was like, "Oh, like it's more cost effective for you to live here." And I was like, "Yeah, but you can't really put a price on mental health, you know?" And I think he kind of got annoyed with me just saying all of this stuff, but like it is the truth, it is the reality, you know? Like, and as much as they don't want to admit to themselves, I have to look after myself, because and like this is like one of my biggest issues is what I'm realizing. For my whole life I'll put other people before myself, and like I sacrifice so much of my life for other people, whether that's my parents, my siblings, or my like relationships and like friends and stuff, thinking that okay, like I'll take care of these people and then like eventually somebody will take care of me. And in reality, like you have to take care of yourself. You can't expect anyone else to take care of you, especially given just like how old I am now. And it's like I really can't afford to be wasting more time, you know? Because he was like, oh, well, what about like you just stay here for like 6 months until you get your license and then like go off on your own? And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna end up wasting 6 months because I know I'm not gonna be able to like study or focus like while I'm living here. So we're gonna go through this whole exercise, and then in 6 months we're gonna end up doing what I'm saying. So let's just do what I'm saying, you know? And this is like the part about them that annoys me the most is they will never listen to me, and then like after a few months, 6 months or a few years, then they'll kind of agree with what I'm saying. And this happens with so many people in my life where like I'll say something or like I'll give advice, and then the person won't listen to me. And then after a few months or after somebody else suggests it to them, then they'll say it back to me, and I'll be like, yeah, like I literally told you this like a year ago, you know? And a good example of being like my dad used to chase around after this one tenant, like who was just a real headache of a person. Like every hour he's like trying to go and like find this person to collect rent. And then I told him like, yo, you're literally wasting your time. Like, what are you doing? You know, like is your time like so like not worth anything that you're just gonna spend your time chasing after this like junkie monkey? And then guess what happened? Sure enough, he decided, okay, let me just sell the building because it's not worth my time dealing with this tenant. And I'm like, well, there you go, bro. Like I literally told you to do this like 2 years ago, you know? So it is what it is. And in other news, I have a couple of viewings coming up on Monday. And I guess we should talk about this too, because I'm going to go look at some 2 bedroom apartments. And he's like, oh, what do you need 2 bedrooms for? And I'm like, well, the space, and there's really not much difference between like a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom. Especially if I compare like the unit I was looking at, 90 George, was like 2,100 for like a 1 bedroom, very small unit. Whereas like I can get a nice 2 bedroom house with a garage for 2,200 in Barhaven, and like I'm like 5 minutes away from the gym, you know. Plus, I can turn like my plan is to turn the second room into an office slash my YouTube studio because this is something I plan on exploring. Like I do want to build this page out and just see where it goes, you know? And who knows like how long it'll take me to monetize this channel or gain enough subscribers that like this could be something I can actually spend my time doing. But for now, I'm enjoying this. This is like a nice fun hobby, you could say, you know? Especially because I like making content and I prefer making content that is not really geared towards selling shit, because all of the previous times I would make content, it was really geared towards like me selling something, right? So it was like content marketing. So you'd watch the reels and you wouldn't realize it's an ad, but it was an ad for the coaching, you know? Plus, this way I can also turn the second bedroom into like a podcast studio if I decide to reboot my podcast or start a new podcast. So, yeah, you know, all in all, it's been one hell of a journey. And I am very glad that I'm almost at the end of this journey. Although, like, as much as I'm like, yeah, like, I'm going to get a break, like, I get to rest now, I really don't get to rest or get a break just because there's still so much that I have to do and there's so much that I still want to do. You know, in terms of life, I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be by 33, you know, and there is many things that I hope to accomplish within the next like 3 to 5 years. So it's going to be fun to kind of document the whole journey and then to look back on this in 5 years and be like, oh shit, like that's what I was going through then, you know, and like this is how far I came. And who knows, like, if I'm gonna go up or if I'm gonna go down, like, we don't know where this, like, life is gonna lead us, you know? All we can do is do your best and put in as much effort as possible and then leave the rest in God's hands and try and live in the moment, you know? This is something I really have to focus on because I am very much an overthinker and I like to spend a lot of time in my head making plans, and then I spend more time planning than taking action. So I guess the theme of today is execute more, take more action, right? As long as something is like 60 to 70% of the way there, like just shoot, you know, don't get overwhelmed or bogged down in the details. And it's weird for me that I get bogged down in the details just because I'm more of like a big picture visionary type of person. I guess really I'm both because like I'll have the big picture and then I will just dial in and focus on the details and then I just kind of make no progress, right? So yeah, this is actually some new development because when I dropped out of university the first time, like I was literally just go, 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 and like it doesn't matter what I break along the way, you know, we'll fix it later. And I guess that shit caught up to me, you know, just being in go mode for more than a decade and not going on a vacation, not resting, and just trying to power through, you know. So Yeah, I have to learn how to rest, and I have to learn how to just kind of chill out and enjoy each moment, you know? And I think this is a common thing for people who have ADHD and are entrepreneurs, you know? So, all in all, alhamdulillah for everything, and few more days to go before Ramadan starts. So, yeah, we're gonna end this month having it be quite busy. Realistically, yeah, like I was supposed to move out of this Airbnb on the 15th, but there's nowhere near enough time for me to like locate a place and move and furnish it, etc. So I extended till the end of the month. So, yeah, you know, there there's a bunch of other things going on, but I'm not really in the mood to discuss them. So let's just end it at that. One nice, quick, short video. Enjoy your Friday night, people, and enjoy your Valentine's Day. You know, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.